So, you're from suburban Philadelphia, and you're just like a college kid.
Just hanging out, enjoying.
And so you get into, first of all, you don't look like your typical MC.
No.
Sorry, you don't.
All right.
How do you get into that kind of music in suburban Philadelphia?
Well, I mean, one, at the age of like 11, 12, 13 was kind of that era of hip-hop where it was moving into the suburbs. It was targeted towards those kids where it was really reaching its peak as far as big business. That's a good and bad thing, obviously, because it started to get tainted a little bit, but it was also gaining popularity. So for me, it was all over the radio, but also, my friends were listening to it, so a little bit of group theory involved. And from there, it was just kind of started hanging out with kids with the common interests of hip-hop. As I turned 14, 15, 16, picked up a pen, started to sketch some ideas, hanging out in the basement with one of my best friends, Brian Sellers. We would just talk about our girlfriends or some kids in high school we weren't really into, we didn't like. And we just recorded a $90 microphone plugged into the back of the computer into Acid Pro. And, next thing you knew, we put it on a CD, sold it around school, sold it down at like Harvest Day, which is like a festival down on the main street in our town. And it was just kind of a natural progression of just being interested in music, listening to music, and the whole self-expression, enlightening point of it was what really brought me in.
Were these raps over beats, or did you actually have some music over?
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, we went to mp3.com and just illegally downloaded beats and then just wrote to them. But that's kind of an element of it in creating CDs. I mean, obviously, in the album Sleeping the Bread Out, we actually sat down, created, played, and everything like that. However, early on, and still a lot of people create their albums this way, they beat selection, so that was one of my first experiences of beat selection and what's your ear like? Because if you have a good ear and you can pick some good beats, you might come out with a good album. But when I decided to start doing it seriously, creating a major label debut with Sleeping the Bread Out, it was more about creating an album than it was about buying an album or downloading an album. So that's why you didn't find us, going on with big Timberland beats or really go spend $50,000 on one beat. Orrin Yoel, who produced 9 of the 12 records on a Sleeping the Bread Out, has never had a placement before in his life. So people were looking at me like, dude, you're crazy. Major label debut on SRC Universal, which is Wu-Tang Clan, Akon, Mobb Deep, Big Pun, just legendary status, and you're dropping in Orrin Yoel. No one knows what's going on, but for me that was cool because no one had heard the sound of it. I was confident knowing that you have never heard this before. Want to know why? Because Orrin's never had a placement before, so it was good for me to drop something new and fresh.
And you saved a lot of money on the record.
There you go. We didn't get shelled out too much money anyway, but it's all good. It's true.
So this just goes to show how all you need is a computer and a mic and an internet connection.
And some creativity.
That's all you need.
That's it.
So you posted some of this stuff on MySpace too, right?
Yeah, early on I was rhyming over like Kanye beats, DJ from the beats, just stuff we would straight up go on LimeWire, Napster, or anything like that, and just download the instrumentals. You could easily type in Kanye instrumental, and you get pages and pages. And
hang on. Hey, record company guy, you see how this is actually working to your advantage? You have a major artist here who is actually using illegally downloaded material to turn it into gold.
There you go.
Pay attention, record company guy.
Alchemy.
Okay, sorry, I just had to get that in.
So, yeah, that's pretty much what we were doing. We were downloading these instrumentals, and it's kind of half the battle. Whenever you kind of push something brand new on somebody, it's tough. It's really tough for them to, they have to get used to it. No. But when you already are rapping over beats that people already know and have accepted, these are popular beats, and it's just a new voice, they don't have to get used to the music. They've already been exposed to it. So now it's just like they can concentrate on the lyrics, concentrate on the content and what's going on over top of it. And that's what happened with the Family Man beat, Kanye West, on the Diddy album. And I rewrote a record. I rewrote the hook and everything like that into a record about coming from a strong family. and coming from the suburbs and how it's really a luxury nowadays to have parents that stay together, and with the divorce rate going through the roof and people not even getting married anymore, just living together, and how much, you know, I was blessed by that. And Scooter heard it at the right time. You know, he had ran into a producer named Anton and got those confused. So it's late at night, had a couple drinks. He thought he was going to see Anton, a producer that he ran into previously. Turns out to be Asher, some funk white kid rapper. And before he could get to the X, this song comes on about, you know, I got the call the other night from my sister, Ride. She's like 25, turning 26 in July. She calls me a flippin' homie. Not really like pistol, more like really homie, get your shit together. Let's get rich already. My mother's the visionary, predicting my situation. My father's realistic, never wasting time, he's Mr. Patient. Sisters are waiting on me, hoping that I'll make it. If it wasn't for my family, baby, I'd be in a ditch decaying. And it just goes on to a long thing about how my sisters are kind of like, you know, I have two older sisters, and they're jokesters and always picking on their little brother. And my mom's always like, Asher, it'll be cool, you know, just do this. And my dad's like, oh, whatever, if it doesn't happen, we'll still love you, because he's a real realist and everything. So having that, you know, the dream mentality of my mom and the staying grounded of my dad and the possibilities of my sisters, like, all that has really made me the person that I am today. So writing a record about it and that being different from hip-hop.
No kidding.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
yeah, I mean,
that
once
was
you get, you know, Fitty and how many gunshots he survived, I mean, how much more hardcore can you get?
Timing is everything. I mean, for years, for really the decade of the 2000s, it was really about, you know, materialism and all that. And so, you know, there's been these little checkpoints along the way. I released a record over the Milli beat, which turned into a little pop culture thing with every rapper really rhyming on it. And I flipped it and turned it into, you have all this money, nobody cares. You know what I mean? You guys are sitting there rapping about millions and millions of dollars. Nobody has millions of dollars. We can't relate to that. And that was another one of those moments where it kind of put me on the map as far as, wow, this kid's actually saying something. Let's be paying attention to this.
Even, you know, you're talking about going to college. I mean, you're 19, 20, 21-year-old, and you hear your raps about college. It's like, that's my life.
Absolutely. And that's relating to kids who are 8 years old all the way up to people who are like 58 years old. Because it's just about simplicity, you know, when life was easy, you know. And a lot of people have gone to college. Some who even haven't still, like, you know, either have the chance to go to college or never went, but still relate to the fact of just drinking a beer, rolling a joint, and just enjoying a deep breath and relaxation. That's really what it's about. I mean, you could replace the word college with life, and it's still the exact same song. It's really just about enjoying, you know, simplicities of life.